up, gamers? So I just watched the Alien Earth TV show. What can I say about it other than what I said in that little blurb there when I shared the Angry Joe review? Well, I had a few thoughts I wanted to run through. First thing that comes to mind, like I said in the little blurb, like you gotta kind of turn your brain off a little bit to a certain degree. And that where it's going is more interesting than what it covers throughout the 3 episodes. In that, a lot of people, the buzz I heard talking about, oh, it's not an Alien versus Predator situation, like, you don't have a lot of the alien, and I was thinking, besides just a lot of xenomorphs, I didn't see a lot of people's stuff specifically. I'm talking about, like, other people's reviews mentioning it. Alien versus Predator, the seldom known one that takes place in a town. It's got the PSP video game based off of it where there's like a tank. There's 2 of those. There's a sequel to that now as well. Not the one that's in the pyramid under the ice, the one that's in the town. I don't know if people are talking about that versus the more well-known in the pyramid Alien versus Predator. But that's the scenario that I think at least people are going for. And I want people to be a bit more patient with this. I mean, basically we've got, like, in that 3 episodes, a bit over a movie. I mean, 3 hours long. It's a real long movie. Maybe it's a 2-part miniseries or whatever, but it's like, it's not a whole season's worth and we just stretched this shit out. Things are moving fast. I don't know if there is 6 episodes, and the bootleg version of it I was watching, you could only see 3. Don't worry for your attention span. I will eventually get to moving these images around and talking about different stuff. But by the end of the 3rd episode, you feel like you've reached a conclusion, like watching a mini movie. I wouldn't say the individual episodes, but a very clear conclusion moving forward, where we're almost in a prequel state of The Walking Dead before the Alien Earth or Walking Dead level, it being out in the open and you getting to see society deal with it. What I'm saying is build up, and that the way the 3rd episode concludes, it leaves the possibility open. It's like the Aliens movie, the one where on the ship they're breeding the alien, they're breeding the xenomorphs, they have a whole bunch of them in little containment units. I remember the guy presses the button in order to spray it with some CO2 or whatever. It's like a shock collar. And that is the reason that you get for there being, that's the justification for there being a lot of xenomorphs. Now, so the kind of problem that you run into is that, like, people are talking about, oh, I wanted it to be Alien versus Predator, but you're kind of jumping the shark. You have to have build-up that goes to that. So, like, I mean, Alien at its best is in the original movies where it's a single or a couple of aliens. You have the threat in the back of your mind of them, laying eggs and going through the whole reproductive process, and then you've got to deal with a bunch of them. But it's one alien, it's the tension, a lot of stalking, you see what I'm saying? And so when you have a whole bunch of them, it goes into action. And I'm not saying that's bad. You got the Colonial Marines in the Alien movies, but it's not all action. It's like the difference between the old Mad Max movies and the new Mad Max movies. Being that there's a lot more tension and build-up. Slow shots and whatnot. Like the constant battle between, or like the like the Terminator movies, the future scenes where you're having large amounts of people battling large amounts of Terminators, and you have those big action scenes. It's the same kind of dynamic there. You got one Terminator for the majority of the movie. You got one Terminator versus, switching the point of views, but I was gonna say the obstacles in his way. But you got one Terminator, a lone Terminator faces the challenges of the world. But you got the one threat, and the people, main characters, small group of them dealing with it. The civilians. You see what I'm saying? So the action battle isn't the place that you stay, it's the place that you go to. You evolve into that. So by the end of the third episode, you're in a similar place to the Alien movies, where there is the possibility of them being manufactured and this whole situation getting out of control. Speaking of Terminator, the whole time I was watching this guy right here, I was like, is that the dude from... He reminds me so much of the guy who was taking the dog castration medication in the veterinary office. Is he related to him? Are they trying to get that guy? Why does all the female... Not that I'm complaining, but why do all the female protagonists have to be the same, like, Alita Battle Angel? Like, they looked at the Fallout TV show and said, let's get somebody similar looking. And I also laughed after, like, realizing in the FX logo sinking in it, and me just kind of, like, realizing it. I laughed every time I seen this guy. I was like, and the gray hair is appropriate because I was a kid when he was all over TV shows on FX, but it's just kind of funny. Like, I feel like they drag... He's in the show so much, and they dragged him out of wherever the hell he's been chilling at. Like, you never see him in real big movies, but you see him in, like, a lot of FX TV shows. Just thought that was kind of funny. Of course, on Google Images here, we're not going to get a shot of the ridiculous back. The ridiculous back?
How's that girl?
She's ready.
Had to get the trailer up because there's literally no pictures of this stupid shit on Google Images.
That's right. You're very, very special.
Can we... show the stupid thing?
We have a downed spacecraft.
I want what's on that ship.
We can do it.
Mark
We're
Zuckerberg.
fast. We're strong. We don't break.
So dumb. So dumb. Gosh, this was so dumb. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, alright, Alita Battle Angel. We're doing the Battle Angel thing. And then I realized while watching it, I was like, I swear to God, is that a motherfucking... Is that a fucking... The fucking little guillotine in your office for cutting paper? And she took the fucking... What are you, Jason Statham? she took the frickin' blade off the... Didn't John Wick do that at some point, too? She took the blade off that thing. I don't remember what that's called. The thing that you used to chop a stack of paper in an office. That's what that is. Are you serious? This was this was like immersion breaking throughout the entire thing. I swear to God, what's his name, who's in every FX TV show, is frickin' unarmed too. I don't remember him having a pistol, and he's just normal human walking around like he's at the same power level of the old guy from Invincible. So she got her letter opener there. And her Burger King Kids Club squad of goodies are all unarmed. And apparently, this is just the goofiest nonsense. Like, this guy wants something interesting, smarter than him to talk to. So he's like, all right, let me make these human consciousnesses immortal, and then send them into situations to get PTSD. That'll make for some interesting conversations. No, but so they have... I was expecting an 80s training montage. Like, all right, now we're going to actually get some skill. No, you got Hunger Games over here, only without the ability to actually use a bow or a weapon. Takes this letter opener thing, and then it just bothers me the entire time that we don't have any kind of... there's no kind of explanation as to what magical force is suspending this thing to her back. What's holding that there? Whole time I'm watching, was she got a magnet? She got a magnet in her? She just at will activates some part of her body's like, oh, well, I got a fucking AC adapter, like a 360s AC adapter over where the liver should be, so if I reverse the polarity on the fucking whatever, I can make, this part of my back magnetic, and that's how this thing sticks there. Like, you just gotta turn your brain off and not question why the thing... I mean, at the very least she could do is, like, I was thinking to myself, all right, Eric, just come up with something that isn't stupid, that you can tell yourself in your brain for your headcanon, and then we'll move on. And I think I actually killed two birds with one stone, and I solved the how do characters carry a sword on their back problem. So you have some kind of like little chest harness, whatever. In her case, for the letter opener, I think she could get away with a string. And you just have like a string tied to the sheath. But of course, in her case, if she has a button or whatever on the front of that shirt, or the outfit that she ends up in or whatever, like, if she has a button on the front that she can loop, or anything, that she can loop a string that's tied to the handle of that, so that's just kind of over her shoulder, like, some fucking way to explain the shit. I don't know, I can deal with it when you're playing Fallout or video games. I mean, in Mass Effect and Halo, it's kind of like implied or whatever that some techno wizardry is going on, magnets, to hold the weapons there. But, like, Fallout, you just kind of roll with it, that it's just suspended there. But yeah, that just bugged me. Like, no 80s training montage. We're supposed to believe that there's she clearly went through some kind of Lost Boys 80s montage of her own off camera that we didn't get to see. Like, I don't believe she just walked out of the laboratory with the confidence to just climb up some cliffside and then jump off of it. She clearly did some Spider-Man, can I jump off of stuff? How high can I jump? Montage before getting to the fucking point of doing that. And so then you have these implied damn near indestructible children in robot bodies that, like, the rest of them don't get a Spider-Man montage, so they see, like, little stuff that they could easily kill. You know, she chops the head off of one of the fucking, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but, you know, she's out there killing stuff. Meanwhile, the rest of the goobers are stumbling around, oh my god, like a elephant scared of a mouse, basically. And yeah, nobody gave him any weapons or any guns. And then the other thing, I'm like, all right. like these dudes are trying to come off like serious military people. Everybody except for Mark Zuckerberg's double, Lex Luthor on his off days. And so you've got FX there, the character, the guy with the white hair trying to be all serious and military. You got the dude in the suit trying to be all serious. But it's like, alright, so you're going to send them, and so are they not allowed to have any weapons? Because why didn't you say here, like, we're doing this no-nonsense routine. They've got indestructible bodies, so the indestructible bodies, relatively indestructible, are supposed to be their weapons, but they don't even know. Like, they're doing the elephant scared of a mouse routine, so what's even the point? You know? And so, like, I mean, just, geez, come on. This whole thing is a damn mess.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
Like, it's not at all, it doesn't, the vibe of the trailer doesn't really carry over into what you're seeing in the show. You know, like, geez, tie the fucking, you got a pocket there, you got pockets with buttons, take a string and loop it over your shoulder and tie it to the button or Velcro loop of the pocket on the opposite side, the left side. Very, very easy. This thing is just suspended there. But so, these military hard asses just let her bring the fucking letter opener with her on the mission that she shouldn't be going on with the goobers that shouldn't be there. And they're like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a reason to bring a weapon or isn't there a reason to bring a weapon? Right? If they need a weapon and she's allowed to bring the shit, right? Wouldn't you, like, try to clue these kids in, like, hey, you guys are basically weapons. Like, you're like the Terminator, right? So if you can turn your brain off to that, like, they're doing the world at war, the War of the Worlds, I mean, routine versus the Battlefield LA, in that, you know, the Battlefield LA movie would be that Alien versus Predator scenario where you have this big ground war, troops, whole shit tons of xenomorphs, combat going on, more action-centric versus War of the Worlds, more focused on the characters, little bits of military stuff going on in the background for the most part, right? So they're trying to, I mean, you are doing a show, so you do have to build characters and draw things out, but so the way that it's set up leaves the possibility open for that Alien versus Predator scenario to happen at any time. So basically, you know, as long as they don't jerk our chain too much with this and don't try to drag this out into some overly long fucking, you know, The Walking Dead, 20 seasons of this shit kind of thing with no, and it just turns into some, like, a lot of dialogue, you know? Don't do that. If we can do like a good 3 or 4 seasons, maybe 5, I don't know, but a small number of seasons that has a satisfying arc on its way to full-on Alien versus Predator war. We're in like prequel territory. This is what happened before Rick woke it up in The Walking Dead, like the zombies, the zombie virus, or whatever. I don't remember if it was made in a lab in the show, but hypothetically, right, made in a lab or wherever it is, it hasn't broken out yet. Before we get into full-on apocalyptic xenomorph scenario. So yeah, just don't drag it out forever. Hopefully that's the conclusion. That's the only real satisfying conclusion that I can see this ending at. And I don't know, maybe somebody on the team there at Zuckerberg's office will have an aha moment and go, maybe we should if we're going to send them into situations like this, maybe we should have weapons and stuff. It was just goofy. But if you can turn your brain off to that, I mean, it's good enough. I'm not mad at it. I'm just like, all right. Let's hopefully get to yeah, I'm not ready to say either or don't watch it or like, and I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing ever, but it's pretty good. Definitely worth a watch. Like and subscribe. Peace.